they say? What would our leaders of old say when they see the news today? The activists, the artists, the writers, when they look at us and see our pain, what would they say? What would they say if they were here today? What would they say? What would they say if they could feel our pain? If they were here today, what would they say? What would Malcolm say? What would Martin say? What would they say? If they could see our pain, what would they say? What would Maya say? What would Nina say? What would they say? If they were here today, what would they say? Ooh, what would they say as they see the death toll rise? What would they say if we choose to fight? Would Maya Angelou have a poem to utter to help us rise up from this dark, painful gutter? What kind of stories would James Baldwin write? And what speech could Martin Luther King preach to shed some light? Would Lorraine Hansberry write a new play that deals with all the heartache that we're going through today? If they were here today, they say, oh, if they could feel our pain, they say, I wanna know if they were here today, they say, I wanna know, I wanna know, I wanna know, what would they say? To the breaking news we see, what would they say? What would they say if we choose to bend the knee? What would they say? Not even Richard Pryor would dare to crack a joke. What would they say when he sees a man who was bound, cuffed, and choked? What would they say if they were here today? What would they say?
On New Year's Day in 2009, BART police officer Johannes Meserly shot 22-year-old Oscar Grant in the back, later saying he thought he grabbed his taser. The report also criticizes a second BART officer, Anthony Peroni, saying he was aggressive throughout the encounter, using the N-word, punching and kneeing Grant as he was forced down onto the platform.
Within 90
Officer Pantaleo, seen in the green shirt, quickly entered the scene and took him down with a chokehold.
What appears to show Sterling and two officers fighting outside of a store. Again, this is graphic video. We know Sterling was armed as things escalated when he was killed.
Because things are worse.
Are they really?
You see what we see. They continue to kill our people. Our children are dying.
Dying, they are being murdered. They have been killing us for centuries. I am angry and I'm tired
Then
too.
stop your complaining.
What are we going to do?
I don't know.
About her crying and
Why
sobbing.
you let her cry? She doesn't need your criticisms.
Crying, what good does it do?
Maybe you should be more empathetic.
I am. Who are you to tell me I'm not?
Then act like it and stop overreacting. Oh yeah, we have enough problems to deal with. We need to spend our energies on how to make things better. You leave Yemaya to be Yemaya. She's more powerful than you're giving her credit.
I know how to solve the problems.
That is the first thing you want to do, but this is not the answer.
So you say, you know what I can do with this? I am talking about fighting for our people, and you take time to look at yourself in the mirror. Even now in the middle of crisis, you cannot get over yourself.
There is power in beauty.
Ah,
Focus.
ah, look who is talking. Give me that.
Yemaya, you need to eat. Even a goddess must
If
eat.
she is going to cry every time another black person on earth is murdered, everywhere we are being slaughtered like lambs at the market, it is genocide, please, the island.
It's okay, Mama. Sit. It's okay.
Oh, they have no right. No right. What gives them permission? No one does.
Please sit. Sit.
No, it's not okay. I don't want to sit. Who are they to make this war on us?
It has been going on for far too long. But mother,
But why? Why?
your
Why?
crying is not going to stop it. Those white people who are causing the pain, they don't feel anything. They go on with their lives without a care in the world. They don't care about your feelings.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Mother.
But we were making so much progress until that beast with no soul, that demon spawned from the underworld who turns its back on all black, brown, and yellow people came into power. How could they have voted for him?
And Beelzebub. What kind of man cares his mothers and tears his children away? Only a Beelzebub.
The racists have always been there. He just gave them the courage to come out from under the earth. You both know that.
Did you see? Did you see how they shot poor Jacob Blake in the back 7 times? 7 times!
I looked into the eyes and souls of those policemen. And you know what I saw? Demons with badges and guns and hearts of stone.
8 minutes and 46 seconds. 8 minutes and 46 seconds. And we watched his soul leave his body. Did you see it? 8 minutes and 46 seconds. I will never allow them to forget. Never. I will call out the names of the man that they paid for the cruelty. Shout. Now is not the time to stay quiet. Scream. Shout. Don't stop shouting. Why isn't everybody screaming and shouting?
But the people are screaming and shouting. You can take some solace that people are marching and protesting like never before.
Peacefully protesting, huh? No, they need to rise up and fight with weapons.
Our people have always survived.
If the Obatala would allow me to fuse all African people with the spirits of revolutionaries and warriors, you will see changes. If the enemy has a reason to fear for their own lives, they will change. Give them something to be fearful of. Let them be afraid in their homes at night. Let them be afraid to get in their cars and drive. They have no legitimate fear of us. Kill them as they kill us and it will stop. I know it will. We need to call on Shango and Ogo.
Leave Shango and Ogo. The two of you especially should not invoke Shango's name. Oya. Oshun. You know me. There is already too much violence. Not until there is no other option. You know this is what the creators have demanded.
There is no other option!
Where are you going? Don't walk away from me.
Yeah, I know what you are going to say, but the only answer is to be strong. I've been saying this to you for millennia.
Lower your voice.
All the atrocities they have committed and you are still waiting for them to change. Remember, they are children of Columbus, that murderous madman who killed millions of Taino and Arawaks. Native people in the most horrible way imaginable. This is what they do if left alone. This is who they are.
I know. I know you think I don't know.
But most people don't, because it has been hidden from the world deliberately.
But if we do it your way, there will be nothing but death, blood, destruction. I am looking and searching for a peaceful solution.
We are descendants of great warriors. Don't diminish us. Never diminish us.
Diminish us. I am trying to embellish us, nourish us into greatness.
We are already great. We are great people. Queen Nzinga, Queen Candace, Queen Nandi, Queen Mondon, Queen of the indigenous Amazon warriors. They have shown us the way.
Obatala has said no. You cannot not question the wise ones because they are wise for a reason.
Our tears get us nowhere.
Oh, don't mistake my tears for weakness, Oya. My crying is my prayer, and in prayer there is power.
Pray to who? We are goddesses. People pray to us.
Goddesses must pray too. Maybe you should try it.
Where are we?
I don't know this place.
What are we doing here? Yamaya? Oh, Yamaya! Where are we? You are in one of the many realms. I felt something, a vibration, something, and the next thing I knew I was here. Did you summon us
I
here?
thought it too.
So did I.
I summoned you.
If you were going to summon anyone, at least you could have summoned warriors.
You tell me they are not warriors.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hello. I was looking down on earth at the happening down there when I received a very strong vibrational pull. And all of a sudden, it's here.
Me too. Same with me. I was just chilling with Biggie and Thug Mansion. Next thing I know.
Welcome to you all. I sent out an energy vibration and you all answered. We need your support.
Where the fuck we at? Richard! Oh, hi, Maya. Where the fuck we at?
Hello. Welcome. Please. Have some food and wine. Everything is here for your needs, and if it is not here, I will make sure it is provided for you.
I have what I need right here.
Yeah, me too.
Ganja. It flows freely here, though it's not all green, though. Feel free. Look around. I summoned you all because you all have dedicated and sacrificed your lives for the betterment and advancement of all humanity. You fought and you died for it. The attacks on black people have increased and the problems between the races have gotten worse. I am sure you have been watching. We'd like to know your thoughts on why that is and what we can do to change the problem.
Who are you again?
We are Orishas of the Yoruba religion and tradition, originated in Western and Central Africa where most black people are from. We are the second largest religion on the planet.
Not second, they're largest. But the white world would never allow that to be known.
We lend our power, wisdom, and advice to humans when we can, or when the African souls call for us, consciously or unconsciously, for sometimes they do not know they are calling.
And when the Supreme Creator sees fit for us to intervene, we intervene then and only then.
Excuse me. I'm Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. I'm a relatively new arrival. I have to say, I am very pleased to meet you all. I've read about you on the other side.
Oya, goddess of thunder and lightning.
Married to Shango. She is not married to Shango. I am.
Please don't get them started on Shango. Let Shango stay wherever Shango is. Shango!
I have no problem accepting you for who you say you are, but I must be clear there is only one God, and that God is Allah.
Yes, and the God I know and worship is Jehovah.
We would never challenge your faith. No, that is not why I called. I called for what you may describe as a divine purpose, something your goals would condone, a continuation of the work you did on earth.
Yes, we are Orishas, but you may think of us as angels if that will make things clearer and make you feel better.
You know, I was finally getting used to hanging out over in purgatory.
Richard, you were hardly in purgatory.
It felt like it. Boring as hell over there. How much milk and honey can one person drink and eat? I ain't complaining though, it's better than hell, I tell you that. That's where I thought I was gonna go.
You make me laugh, and I know Obatala is laughing too. He would never wish harm to you.
Okay. If you say so. Is there wine on that table over there?
And there is no hell. That is not our reality.
I would think.
Hello. Have no fear. Zora's here.
I knew you would come.
Of course I would come. You know I never miss a good party. Please tell me you got some food and wine. I need a glass of wine right now. Right now.
What's that bitch doing here?
Lorraine, be nice.
I heard that. Lorraine. Honey, I haven't seen you since we're back on the earth.
Since you screwed over Langston and Allen.
Lorraine.
Yes, that's right. I screwed over everybody to hear you tell it. But you don't know the entire story because you weren't there. And if I were you, I wouldn't be up here in the afterlife spreading rumors. That's beneath you. Pun intended.
No one can be lower than you.
Lorraine.
All right, you two, let's just leave all of those old hurts alone. Besides, we are here for a divine purpose. And I, for one, would like to know what that is. Alright? It's good to see you and feel you again. You have adopted to the afterlife plan.
Well, I've been here a long time now, but I always knew when life ceased, I was going to be part and parcel of the universe. And here I am right where I belong. Tell them call back when something happened. Yeah, I wonder why that is.
Maybe the way you screwed up the last time, you aren't wanted back.
Damn, I didn't know you two had a beef.
Pay her no mind, Richard. Clearly, she hasn't learned anything, and she's going to have to deal with that karma once she goes back to the earth. Anyway, we're ready to party at once.
Party? This is a party?
Just wait a second.
Lorraine.
A party. After all these years of looking down at Earth, I still find no reason for black people to be partying and shaking their butts.
I second that.
What I want to know is why black lives are still not valued. Why do black people continue to take 2 steps forward and 1 step back?
More like 2 steps forward and 3 steps back.
Tell me, what should the people have learned from the past?
Well, the problem as I see it, as it always has been, is racism, plain and simple.
Yes.
There's no mystery to that. One cannot speak about America without speaking about racism. It permeates every area of a black person's life from the time that he or she is born. Even to this day, and I've been off the planet since 1987, but like the rest of us, I've been watching. There have been changes, but quite honestly, not nearly enough, as we all can acknowledge.
Oh, I don't know. We made strides during our time. Some of those strides were monumental, if I must say so myself, and led to the election of our first black president. But I must admit, I am disturbed by the developments on Earth over the past few years. Very disturbed.
You made strides, all right. I don't question that. I still question your methods.
Oh.
You cannot ask a man to give up his manhood in order to gain what's his by right anyway. His freedom, his humanity. You don't ask for freedom, you take it. That is the message that needs to be sent to our people today.
I heard that. I see we will continue to disagree even in the afterlife. I will never give up on nonviolence. I was very encouraged in witnessing all the people who came out onto the streets for nonviolent protests after the execution of George Floyd. Very encouraged.
Yeah, but then they started calling all the protesters looters. We could see that most of the looters was white and tried to make it seem like Black Lives Matter was setting all the fires and burning down the stores. That's some bullshit.
Yeah. What I want to see is why people be tripping over the word right. I mean, it riots people fuck shit up, burn shit, destroy shit, loot, rob, and steal. That's what a riot is. I mean, the Boston Tea Party, that wasn't no party. That was a riot. It's okay when white people do it. It's a party. It's all patriotic and shit. As soon as we do it, it's stupid. Completely forget why we out there in the first place.
Tupac, rioting is ugly and it makes us look bad.
Look bad. You cannot discuss life and death matters and be concerned about how you look.
But when we riot and act like fools, they use that against us.
Forget all that. Here's the solution. Burn that shit down when they get us in. Shit. Those stores aren't owned by us anyway. In the Los Angeles riots, that property was mostly Koreans. And they deserved that shit after they beat Rodney King like he was an animal. And more than that, it was for Latasha Harlins and that judge that gave that Korean bitch probation for shooting a 15-year-old girl in the back of the head. And they want us to be nice about it? Fuck that. Because the next step after the riots is revolution.
And the mass media endlessly uses that word looter, so that the American public concludes that these black savages are trying to steal everything from them. But they are accusing a captive population who has been robbed of everything of looting. I think it's obscene, Maya.
I agree with this at Tupac here. If you don't want people to riot, that's not destroying property. Then stop doing the things that are going to make people go out and riot. Stop killing black bodies. Then there won't be any more rioting.
Exactly. We've been telling them to get their foot off our necks for 400 years. But there's going to come a time where black people are going to use everything they have to get their foot off our necks. And they do not get to tell us how. We will get your foot off our necks by any means necessary. They got the nerve to talk about being nonviolent and protest peacefully. My foot.
Did you see how they allowed that white boy to stroll down the street carrying an AR-15 like he was John Wayne or something?
Oh, and don't forget, they gave John Wayne a bottle of water.
Makes me sick to my stomach.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, he is a white supremacist hero.
Being the elder one here, I can say black people have come a long way. But the journey is far from over. There's still too many white people who hate us simply because of the color of our skin.
You are right, Sister Ida. Every kind of atrocity that could have been imposed upon a people have been committed upon black people, and it continues until this day. What year is it down there?
2021.
2021?
2021. They've been abusing us since they came to Africa over 400 years ago.
You see, white people are conflicted because they don't understand after all we've done to them why we don't hate them and try to kill them at every opportunity. See, that's what they don't understand. They can't seem to understand the generosity of forgiveness that exists in our people. Hell, I don't understand. That's why they come after us. It's guilt. White guilt for sins they committed against black people. And they live in fear of retaliation of their own crimes until this day.
I was born black and female. Problems with that, as I see it, have not changed dramatically enough for the black woman or the black man for that matter. I have to tell you, black people have been patient, but the patience is unbearable. It's hard to watch from where I sit, yet the problems of society must still be challenged. They have to be challenged in 2021. It's painful.
Hell yeah, it's painful. Since I've been on this side, I haven't felt physical pain. But the emotional and psychological pain is just as bad and it hurts just as much. Maybe even more because I feel everything times 10.
Now, black people are suffering from post-slavery syndrome. Post-traumatic stress, this helps relieve the stress.
Pass that joint, Bob.
You see, I believe black people must concern themselves with every single means of struggle. Legal, illegal, passive, active, violent, non-violent. They must harass, debate, sit in, lie down, strike, boycott, sing hymns, pray on steps, and shoot from their windows when the racists come cruising through our community.
Yes, Lorraine, I love the sound of that.
This is the perspective we were speaking from then, and should be speaking from now. We are not monolithic, but we cannot buy into the idea of separation either.
Oh, we are surely not monolithic. Ain't that the truth?
No, because I'm nothing like you.
No, me, you, my sister.
Oh, I'm not your sister.
Oh, you want to go there?
Because you plagiarized the works of Adam Locke and Langston. They worked diligently with you on Barracoon and Mulebone, and they trusted you. Yes, Mulebone, and they trusted you, but you took all the credit.
And where in the world did you get that from?
Langston told me. He was very hurt by you.
I'm not gonna defend those allegations. I didn't defend them then. And I'm for damn sure not gonna defend them now. I'm not gonna give her that satisfaction.
You won't defend them because you know it's true.
You don't know what you're talking about. So you better mind your business.
Oh, Langston was my friend, so it is my business.
So what you gonna do about it then, Lorraine? Huh? What can you do? What difference does it make now?
I just want you to know, and everybody to know, that after life or not, you don't get a pass.
What asking for one? Well, look for one, don't need one. So now what? Because I'm ready for whatever
Jimmy,
you
I'm
got.
fine.
There's nothing to go with her. I didn't even know her back then. I didn't know they post books and articles when you were just a little intern working for Paul Robeson at the Amsterdam News. Only met you a couple of times, and I'm
Still didn't know your name.
No, Jimmy, let me go. You know what? A lot of people get fooled by my size and glasses. You don't want to be one of them. Enough, Zora. You need to back up and sit down. Lorraine is my girl. And you don't want me to get into this because you know I'll put a spell on you.
Enough! I didn't summon you here to rehash personal matters. Please, let's attempt as best we can to focus on what is important to all of us, huh?
Yes. Our purpose is much larger than any personal matters you may have.
As I was saying before I was so brutally interrupted.
You interrupted me.
The black intelligentsia, the wealthy, the middle class, and the poor are all one people. And we must approach the problems and solve the problems as one. Well, we could ask the masses to understand. The question is, do they even want to understand?
Hell no. How they gonna understand us when they constantly killing us? They will never understand us because they will never walk in our shoes.
A revolution. That is what Lorraine is calling for?
I'm not calling for one, but I'm certainly not taking it off the table as an option.
But we cannot keep dying like dogs and do nothing about it.
Shit.
But I was born into slavery. I have gone into the valley of the shadow of death and been confronted by some of the vilest, evilest white people you'd want to meet. And it wasn't a dream. It was a living nightmare. They kill a black person as well as look at him.
Sound to me like the same ones wearing badges all over the country right now.
Might as well be. They're the sons and grandsons of those same good old boys. They just turned in their hoods and ropes for a badge and a gun. There's no difference between the races of 1864, 1964, and 2021. I know because I was there.
Yeah. How do you change the hearts of men if they don't want to change?
Can't change a man's heart. Some people born evil.
People get set in their ways, and child, good luck.
Oh, white people don't want to change. And the white man that doesn't want to change, he's a dangerous person to deal with.
Right.
They have been scandalous since they first set foot on this land. Look at the indigenous people that lived on their own land until the Europeans came and just renamed it America. No, it's the white man. He's the problem, and he's always been the problem.
Malcolm, your hatred of white people is not the answer. When are you going to learn that hatred is too great a burden to bear?
Oh, I don't hate anyone. You know, you sound like the white media that label me and accuse me of hating all people simply because I love my own. Now, one thing I'm not going to do and never did is love someone who hates me. How you going to do that? Give me a...
Love is the only force that can transform an enemy into a friend.
A friend?
No other power can do that.
A friend? When are you going to get into that thick skull of yours that no matter how much you love someone, they're not going to love you back? A friend? Always sucking up to nothing like some lap dog begging for their approval. A friend.
Malcolm!
What? I am tired of hearing it.
Well, I guess we suffer from the same problems, Malcolm. Eternal hard-headedness. But my head is not as thick as yours. You cannot condemn all white people. Let's take a look at this logically and historically. It was the white abolitionists who fought and held up the cause for all black people at the most crucial time in American history. John Brown, Susan B. Anthony, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Harriet Beecher Stowe, and many, many more.
Didn't Harriet Beecher Stowe write Uncle Tom's Cabin? If she's not a racist, I don't know what a racist is.
Many of the white women who were part of the suffrage movement did not hold the same ideals for black people, especially black men. I knew them all personally and can vouch for some but not others. I can vouch for Harriet, though. She was a true abolitionist.
They introduced the world to Frederick Douglass. If it wasn't for him, black soldiers would have never fought in a civil war.
I am tired of hearing about the goodness of the white man. If the white man was so good, black people wouldn't be in the situation they're in today. If the white man was so good, he wouldn't have had his foot on George Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds.
I'm still angry.
I'm not angry. Why is it every time a black man speaks truth, he's gonna be labeled angry? I'm not angry. I'm just speaking truth.
I didn't mean to insult you or label you, Malcolm. I love you too much for that. I just want to get past the anger. We have to.
I recognize after Mecca that I was wrong about all white people on the global scale, but not the average white American. The one that worships a white God with a white Jesus on a cross? The one that manipulates religion for their own purposes, their own evil endeavors? The evangelicals, the religious right, the Trumpsters, with their red hats on talking about make America great again. America has never been great for black people. They're the ones at the rallies with a pandemic raging, not even wearing a mask, all up under each other like flies carrying their filthy diseases. Oh, they're good for carrying diseases. They're carrying diseases since they first got here. Smallpox, gonorrhea, syphilis, AIDS, and now corona. How are you going to worship God and follow the devil? Let you the devil yourself.
Hell, I hear you, Malcolm. That's real tough.
Pretty rough tough.
Malcolm, we cannot be controlled by our emotions. That's what a child does. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, understood as a child, thought as a child.
Now you're going to come at me with the white man's Bible?
You can say what you want about the Bible, but we must continue to see the cross as a magnificent symbol of love, conquering hate, and light overcoming darkness. Let us never forget that our Lord and Master was nailed to that cross because of human blindness. Those who crucified him knew not what they did.
They knew exactly what they were doing.
I agree with Martin. People can change, but it takes courage to change.
Crackers don't want to change.
Hey.
I ain't never seen a cracker change.
Preach.
In order to change the situation, one has first to see it for what it is, a paradox. And a fearful paradox it is, that black people can have no future anywhere, as long as he is unwilling to accept his past. It's not the same thing as drowning in it, but learning how to use it.
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly, Jimmy.
Look, I don't know. I see the purpose of the Bible, the Quran, even black history. But these young people out there today get bogged down with all this heavy stuff. Looks like so much more fun than what we had. I think I was born in the wrong time period.
Oh, you in today's world? You better watch out.
Yes, Lord, you will excel in any time period. I don't question that. But I don't want to lose focus here. And I do not want to talk about the Bible. We have thousands of men and women being slain by the police going back far too long. And it has been a one-sided war because they have all the law and the firepower.
Right. I managed to look for love. And yes, I love myself. Despite America telling me I wasn't worth loving. But I'm proud of myself enduring white man's America of the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. I don't know how I did it, but I did. And I certainly do not want to go back to any of that pain. No way. I'm telling you, I look at those young people out there with their iPads and their iPhones and their iComputers, and I'm impressed with them. They're out there marching together. People from all races. And something needs to be said for that. Because we ain't never seen that. Not even in the 60s.
But 'tis gonna last. Everything revolves around consistency, and none of it means nothing without consistency. No consistency, no successes, no changes, me said.
Bob's got a point. Just like I couldn't stay consistently sober, you can't be marching one day and then ignoring everything the next. I needed to stay consistently sober. That's why I got burned the fuck up.
I really want to see what's going to happen to the police arrested in the George Floyd case.
Yeah.
They never arrest a white man for committing a crime on a black man. It used to be a written rule. Now it's an unwritten rule, but it's still a rule.
It's the system, you see. You have the police who commit the crimes, and an AG or a DA who's not going to go against the policeman committing the crime. So very few ever go to court. And those that do go to court get a judge who is on their side. Look at the Breonna Taylor case.
It's horrible. Just horrible.
Yeah, that's just it. When we go to court for justice, that's just what we find. Just us.
The police department was set up to maintain black communities and keep us down. Oh, allow me to quote one of our colleagues that isn't here tonight, from the Soul of Black Folk, the great W.E.B. Du Bois. Yes. The laws are made by men who have little interest in them. They are executed by men who have absolutely no motive for treating the black people with courtesy or consideration. And then finally, yes, the accused lawbreaker is tried, not by his peers, but too often by men who would rather punish 10 innocent Negroes than to let one guilty one escape.
Amen. Du Bois wrote that in 1903, 117 years ago. I remember when he wrote it.
Oh, that's right, you adopted the boys in life.
Oh yes, honey. And we had our moments too. I was a little too radical for his taste. Marcus Garvey agreed with me though.
The United States is the only nation where someone can get a job as a police officer with a high school diploma, 6 months training, and no background check.
There's a recipe for murder right there. It's ridiculous.
It's absurd. Once they put on those blue uniforms, they may as well transform into monsters.
Reconstruction of the police departments of America would be a good place to start. Education, training.
And screening. You can't just allow anyone to become a police officer. The racists have infiltrated the police departments of America.
I want to say something here that's very important. I had all this talk about what a black boy is supposed to do when a policeman stops him. They behave this way, they behave that way, and I said, no way. When you ask me to act a certain way, you're telling me to submit to being inferior, and me inferior to no man.
When they put that gun on your ass, you may not want to be inferior, but you're inferior, goddamn.
Fuck that. Bob's speaking the truth. Comply with them just because they got a badge.
And you got a better way? That's not going to get you killed.
That badge don't mean shit. That's why I shot those cops in the ass in Atlanta. I wasn't gonna obey them when they was acting worse than any dog I know, insulting us, trying to dehumanize us. Even the judge let me off because he knew how crooked their asses was.
You were lucky that time.
Yes.
Sure was. The only thing that every mother is concerned about is that their child comes home in one piece every night.
I know that, Maya, but what you telling me is
You
that...
comply.
Yes.
Your job in that situation is to do what they tell you to do.
That's right. Excuse my French, but fuck that. I'm sorry. But I'm a man. We men. I'm gonna let him take my manhood away because I got a badge? Fuck that. Tupac is right, you know.
Back in my time, all someone had to do was give you a badge and say, now you are deputized. That's all. That's it. And once they had that authority, with or without a badge, they go about their business. And God forbid if you were their business. I have seen the eyes of white people, and I know their hearts can be colder than ice. I have never seen a black person with that kind of coldness in their eyes or in their hearts. Forgive me. I'm referring to something in my own mind right now. Never seems to go away. I know the pain never goes away. Mary Turner, you all have heard of her, I'm quite sure you have, but I was there. I have seen many incidents of lynching in my time, all more horrible than the next, but still a few stand out. Mary Turner. She was lynched in Lowndes County, Georgia, for protesting the lynching of her husband, Hayes Turner, who was lynched for no reason at all. They had no proof of the charges. And when she protested her husband's lynching, they chased her down and captured her, 8 months pregnant. They took her to the banks of the Little River by the Folsom Bridge. They tied her upside down by her feet, doused her with gasoline, and set her on fire. She was still alive, with the baby inside. Her screams could be heard from miles away. Afterwards, they sliced open her belly, and the baby fell out on the ground, still alive, until some white man stomped the life out of the child. That's what they think about a black life. And if that wasn't enough, they shot her over and over and over again while a crowd of 700 people stood and watched and took pictures. White men and women smiling and laughing. That's what they think about black lives. To most white people, black lives don't matter. I wish I knew how it would feel to be free. I wish I could break all the chains holding me. I wish I could say all the things that I should say. Say them loud, say them clear, for the whole round world to hear. I wish I could share all the love that's in my heart. Remove all the bars that keep us apart. I wish you could know what it means to be me. Then you see and agree that every man should be free. I wish I could give all I'm longing to give. I wish I could live like I'm longing to live. I wish I could do all the things that I could do, though I'm way overdue. I'd be starting anew.
Black Lives Matter. They've always mattered.
When I hear a story like the one you just told, I can't help but think about all those white people that stood around smiling and laughing and posing for the camera. Who are they?
Yes. Who are they? Standing around hung, mutilated, burned black bodies. I question every white person that says, it wasn't me. I wasn't there. It may not have been you. How do I know it wasn't your grandfather? Or your great-grandfather? Your grandmother or your great-grandmother holding that flask, grinning and laughing while a black person swings from a tree in the background. God, take some responsibility. It makes me sick to my stomach.
Exactly. Exactly. Take responsibility. You don't have to look back. Look at today. That is why I do not for 1 minute believe that there's a such thing as a good policeman. Why don't we ever see them? Or hear them? I maintain that there's no such thing as a good policeman.
The police were not created to protect and serve black people. Their job is to knock us upside the head and throw us in jail. And if we refuse, just take your guns out and shoot them. Or burn them like they did Mary. Or like they did Willie Brown in my hometown of Omaha, Nebraska in 1919.
Not only Omaha, Chicago, St. Louis, Memphis, Houston, The Red Summer of 1919.
Yes, sir.
Black Wall Street, Tulsa, 1921. I can go on and on.
The Oakland Police Department, OPD, arrested me for jaywalking. I swear, I didn't even know what jaywalking was. They asked me for my ID, and they asked me my name. I told them Tupac Shakur. They asked me why my mother gave me a name like that. That's my name. That's how I said it. You hear me? Yeah. They started questioning the name my mother gave me. That shit made me hot. So now I'm really a nigga with an attitude. So they put their hands on me, threw me in the gutter, put their knees on my face, gave me scars on my face for the rest of my life. From that point on, I hated the police. I could have been George Floyd.
What about all the thousands of George Floyds that would never report?
In Jamaica, all them police, them black. And they still give everybody a hard way to go. Them dishonest and corrupt and evil. Black people killing black people. It's that badge on their chest that gives them the power. That's what it's about, power, you know?
Can I say something? I'd like to say something. I feel the need to announce myself in front of all you famous mother Richard people. I was gonna say people.
Go ahead, Rich.
Thank you, Maya. Shit. Police officers, as soon as they get sworn in, be like, can't wait to kill a nigga. Cops put a hurting on your ass too. They really do degrade you. White folks don't believe that shit.
Well, those people were resisting arrest on part of the harassment of police officers.
Police officers live in white people neighborhoods. They be knowing about Officer Timpson.
Hello, Officer Timpson. Going bowling tonight? Nice pinto you got there.
Niggas don't know nothing like that. Niggas get pulled over by the cops and be like, I am reaching in my pocket for my license. Because I don't want to be in no motherfucking accident.
That was indeed hilarious. Usually it's never a laughing matter when it comes to the police and black people, but leave it to you, Richard.
Thank you.
We're so used to turning on our TV and hearing over and over again that another black child was shot down by the police because they thought he had a gun. In most of those cases, the black child did not have a gun, not a real gun. But the truth of the matter is that the black child inevitably did indeed have a gun. I'm going to show you a picture of a white, erect genitalia. Yes. Now, I'm going to draw a picture of a black, erect genitalia. I'm going to turn it on a horizontal. Now, which one looks like a gun? I'm not trying to be pornographic or vulgar, though some of you may like that sort of thing. I'm simply making a point. But it is not the size of the phallus that is the problem, but the sperm that comes from the phallus, the bullets, if you will. Those bullets filled with melanin that gives black people their color and creates the dominant gene that threatens the very existence of white people on the planet. So yes, every black man is walking around with a weapon. And white survival is threatened by the white man's weapon, to the point that certain white people will go to any lengths to see that that weapon is never used again. That is why the first thing they do before they hang or burn is cut off the black man's penis or shoot, because he is armed with a weapon.
Oh. Wait a second. Wait a second. I have something to say. At the risk of me being too personal, but who am I fooling? I have no problem being personal, mind you. The thought or belief that all black men are somehow larger than all white men, or any man for that matter, is simply not true. I know from personal experience that there are black men who are pathetically small, and white men who are extremely large as any black man. To believe or buy into that plays into the narrative of the black man as animalistic or bestial. We all know that not to be true, so why are you feeding into the myth?
You call it a myth? I've never had an experience with a white man in that way, personally. Never had a desire or a need.
I have. So have I.
Well, good for you. From my studies, the black penis is the largest of all humans.
And where was the study done? In a laboratory on cadavers?
No, it was done.
Since you don't have any experience with a white man, I don't see how you could know. And where did this pathology come from?
Truth or myth? It is terrifying to most white men because it diminishes them and excites their women.
Oh, is that right?
Do you hear?
Certain white men would rather a black man stick his penis in his mouth rather than his daughter.
That is more than I want to see in my mind. But she's got a point. Too many black men were hung on trees and castrated because of the white man's fear of his woman being with a black man. Those are facts.
Yes.
Fear of the black penis is very real.
Now, look, my first husband was a piece of work. I had to leave the continent to get away from his black ass. But there is something soulful about a black man that no other man on the planet can duplicate. And it has nothing to do with size.
When it comes to love, race doesn't enter the picture as far as I'm concerned. I mean, being with a white man doesn't have its challenges. I mean, I left my white husband because there were things that he just didn't understand, and I didn't have the patience to wait for him to figure it out. So I guess there's something to that. But sexually, I've been to see different.
I'm so glad you all shared about your endeavors with white men. Very glad and very disappointed. We have been dying and failing at unacceptable numbers. What are we going to do about it? We are at war. Yes. If we keep misidentifying what's happening, we will be destroyed. And I want you to understand why. Black people were the first people on the planet.
Yeah, true. Aluna Madre created the earth, and the first people were black.
We were the first physicians, first philosophers, architects, engineers, mathematicians, artists. But something happened to those great civilizations.
We know what happened. Europeans happened.
That's right, Oya. Europeans came over to Africa and saw those tall black and bronze men standing there with those beautiful full-bodied black women, and it made them feel inadequate. And from that point on, the business of white people was to reverse everything. They did everything they could to make black, red, yellow, and brown people think that they were ugly and that white was beautiful.
Ashe. This is why they came to Egypt and chopped the noses off all their monuments and statues. Black people sharing rule in Egypt for thousands of years. You want proof? Look at the Sphinx. Please continue, Dr. Wilson.
Look, I'm not saying that it's the business of black, brown, red, and yellow people to hate white people. I'm not saying that at all.
Well, then what are you saying?
I want you to understand why they want to dominate the world. Why they attack black men with the highest potential. If we don't understand white supremacy, we will be confused about who is using us and why. And episodes of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor will be repeated over and over again.
I believe we know what the problems are, but what about the solution? How do we solve the problem?
Well, that is the $64,000 question, isn't it? What is the solution to the problem of racism? Can anybody answer that?
Well, Dr. Du Bois said that the problem with the 20th century is the color line. And here we are, well into the afterlife, well into the 21st century, and we're asking the same question.
It's a hard situation that we're in. You have the black child who is raised by angry, hateful mothers who blame their no-good black fathers for the condition that they're in. Misplaced anger, I might add. Then that child, that black boy must figure out on his own how to survive. Well, the liquor store is at the corner. The gangs are at another corner, and the dope man is at yet another corner. Heroin, cocaine, crack, meth, everything designed to destroy the black brain computer, which is the most beautiful computer on the planet.
Man, you speaking the truth, Dr. Welsing. I know about the gangs, the liquor store, and the dope man far too well.
What I'm going to say next, I know it's going to be controversial. We have an epidemic of bisexuality and homosexuality in the black community created by white supremacy. When men belongs for men, there is no need to worry about white genetic survival.
Hello, excuse me. I need to interrupt you.
I figured you would.
I was with you up until your last point.
You want me to break it down further? I'd be glad to do that.
Did you just say that homosexuality is caused by white supremacy?
Partly. And it's a problem that makes black men passive and weak.
Well, everybody knows I'm a homosexual, but there's nothing passive or weak about me.
Well, no disrespect, but everybody can't be James Baldwin. You were an anomaly.
Anomaly? You're right. Not everyone can be James Baldwin. Why would they want to be me? And why would they want to be me? I think any black boy or girl can be anything they want to be, regardless of their sexuality. Your assumptions are not based on anything factual.
Oh, I have facts and proof.
Well, show me then. Where are they? Prove it. Prove it.
Is white supremacy the reason for black lesbianism also?
Homosexuality is homosexuality, male or female, and it lends to the destruction of the black family dynamic.
You know, I have suspected for a long time that the black homosexual in America would ultimately pay a price just for being a homosexual. But I never thought that I would hear this coming from an intellectually learned and sound person such as yourself. No wonder there are so many homophobic black people in the black community. You, Dr. Welsing, are responsible. You are dangerous.
So I've heard. I'm only speaking the truth, Lorraine. May I continue?
No!
I am well aware that the white man's masculinity depends on the denial of the masculinity of the black.
But you have taken it too far.
Too far?
Says who?
I do. You can't just say anything you want to say because you want to say it. Your comments do not have any basis in truth. And I am not going to allow you to continue to poison this gathering with your slanderous comments.
Allow me? Did he say allow me?
Yes.
No one could stop me from speaking the truth when I was on earth. What makes you think I would allow you or anyone to stop me from speaking now?
You can't just say anything and think I'm going to accept it willy-nilly. You sound like an imbecile.
Did you just call me an imbecile?
No, I think he said you sound like one.
Well, if I sound like one, I must be one. I'm like, just calm down. Everyone calm down. Let them go.
Damn, I am loving this.
This shit is good, ain't it?
Do you honestly believe that all the LGBTQs, many of them brilliant, mind you, even more so than I ever was, are the result of white supremacy? Is that what you are saying?
It's obvious to me.
Well, let me tell you something. Gay lives matter, transgender lives matter, queer lives matter, and just in case you haven't heard, black lives matter.
Okay, fine. But with a lack of heterosexual males in the home, male children will feel male hunger. The child learns to cover up his feelings and not talk about what hurts. So, when someone comes along and says, suck my penis, and he's experiencing subconscious male hunger, he sucks on the penis.
Oh, there she goes with the penises again.
Well, isn't that what homosexuals do? Suck on penis?
You are You need to watch yourself, because I may be gay, but I'm not a faggot. And this gay man is not going to take too many more of your insults.
Or what? You're standing there like you want to do something.
If we were on Earth, I might have to forget you are a woman.
Ooh, you better watch it. I heard Jimmy carries a knife.
I heard he knows how to use it too.
That's why I left the U.S. and moved to Paris. Because I knew I'd have to cut somebody if I stayed. But I didn't care it for black people, especially black women. I cut them with my words.
Well, I'm pretty good at words, so good luck.
She doesn't know where to stop.
White feelings of inadequacy is what led Europeans to have sex with black boys who were also feeling inadequate.
I don't know about anybody else, else, but this is quite an education. Is this an education for anyone else too, or am I?
White supremacy causing homosexuality. Damn sure is an education to me. I heard everything.
Understand what we're dealing with here. Their ultimate goal is to see us as either passive or destroyed. Why do you think they created AIDS, biological and chemical warfare? They thought, how can we get rid of millions of black people all at once? And they want you to believe that AIDS came from green monkeys in Africa. AIDS was developed in a laboratory in Germany. They thought, how can they get rid of millions of black people all at once? So they created a virus targeted at black men and women by the tens of millions.
So let me get this right. You're saying this entire AIDS pandemic was started to kill off black boys so they wouldn't impregnate white women.
Exactly. More heterosexual black males have died of AIDS than gay men, white or black. Africa has been decimated with that man-made virus. They want to keep our reproductive numbers down.
With all due respect, Dr. Welsing, but these allegations sound like conspiracy theories.
Maya, I agree with Dr. Welsing, at least about the germ warfare part. That's what happened to me, you know, they used a stick pin to me foot, which caused me to have brain cancer. Think about that for a moment. Have you ever heard about that happening any time before or since? Germ warfare is what they use. It's what they do. You can't put anything past them. They are capable of anything, you know?
I believe it, shoot. I was the only one killed with no white people directly involved.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, Tupac. I mean, music playing all around the world, touching all kinds of people in them. Because I sing about unity and peace and love. And they don't want that. They rather have us at each other's throats. That has something to do with your murder too, Tupac. Trust me.
I feel you, Bob. That's real talk.
And Dr. Welsing?
Yes?
I want to know. Here's a question. What are your thoughts on a corona pandemic?
You mean the mandemic? Why do you think that president didn't want to do anything about it? As long as it was killing more people of color, why try to stop it? You've seen him. It's obvious he turned his back on the problem.
Well, at least they're close to a vaccine now.
Oh, isn't that convenient and even more upsetting? They have discovered a vaccine for coronavirus in less than a year, yet they have not found a vaccine for AIDS in over 40 years? Why? Because when COVID-19 escaped the labs in China, it began hitting more white people than they had planned for. Italy, the UK, Germany, the USA, they didn't plan for all those white people to be dying.
White people die from AIDS too. Yes. I can fill up a graveyard of my white friends that died from AIDS.
I'm not concerned about how many white people died.
Well, you should be.
I think I've heard enough.
White supremacy.
I said I've heard enough. I'm speaking now. Those are extreme circumstances you have brought to the table, and from what I can see, only inflame fires of hatred and distrust.
The truth is a hoax.
Your truth, not mine. They are conspiracies as far as I'm concerned, and conspiracies are dangerous. I know because I was the recipient of many conspiracies during my time on Earth.
And after. They still working on it.
And after. Sure. And I, for one, don't want to partake in listening to non-factual information when we have too many real and relevant issues to address. You've had your say. To be honest, I don't see how your say helps our cause.
I think I've been dismissed.
I believe you have, Dr. Welsing. Stop it.
Look, we still have many problems confronting our people. How do we confront these issues? Rioting and violence will never get us anywhere. Sometimes I can get mad enough to kill a bear, but I know I'd never lift a finger to harm that bear.
Martin, black people need to hear the truth. Truth is more powerful than the atomic bomb. Truth is so powerful, we often surround it with lies in order to protect it. And the truth is that you may have to die for your freedom.
That's right.
Now you know this as well as I do.
Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate.
Only love can do that. Hate multiplies hate, violence multiplies violence, and toughness multiplies toughness in a descending spiral of destruction. The chain reaction of evil, hate begetting hate, wars producing more wars, must be broken, or we shall be plunged into the dark abyss of annihilation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Preacher man, don't tell me heaven is under the earth. I know you don't know what life is really worth. It's not all that glitters is gold. Half the story has never been told. So now you see the light. You stand up for your rights. You get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight.
We've been talking about everything you can imagine, some pretty heavy stuff. But we've yet to talk about the one thing that can solve all of our problems.
Oh, I know what Maya's thinking. Love. That right, Maya? Love?
Yes, I'm talking about love.
And I agree. Can we talk about love, y'all? Ultimately, love is the answer. Nobody here can deny that. We need more love, y'all.
There's all kinds of love. What kind of love are you talking about?
Okay, cool. What does it matter? Right? Brotherly love. Sisterly love. Sexual love. Just love.
Love? Most of you know I was married to a white man. I was not romantically in love with Bob, but I did love him. I had to admit to myself first that I indeed loved women. Being that it was not in vogue, I had to keep it a secret because not only was I a lesbian, I was a black lesbian. Most of my relationships were with white women, though there were many black women that I admired. I have spent many lonely hours deep in thoughts of my life. Deep in thoughts of love. I liked conversations with James Baldwin. To be alone when I wanted to watch television very late at night. I hated my loneliness, the homosexuality, stupidity. I loved John Genet's plays, John Paul Sartre's writings, not being able to write, being hungover. Silly women and silly men. I regretted that love is really as elusive as everybody knows it to be. Yes. I hated all the freaking hurts of this world. I hated that a certain lady let my letter be read. The shallowness of people that came into my life. I liked 69 when it really worked. The first scotch. The fact that I almost never wanted the third or even the second when I'm alone. Oh, I liked the inside of a lovely woman's mouth. The way little JW looks in the movies, those fresh muscles, her coquettishness, that behind. I struggled to work hard against many, many things. But of my people,
Eartha Kitt. Woo! I should like to huddle be in love. To work and then to finish something.
But she would make it all about her.
What did you say?
Well, I was going to apologize.
All that. I led a boring life. I was so busy writing and pursuing justice for our people. I didn't have time to attend to Ferdinand and our 4 children.
Shit, you had time to make those 4 babies, though.
Nice feeling all of this love shit. How can you be thinking about love when they are killing us?
Nobody ever stops thinking about love.
She's right. Since 2015, 1,252 black people have been killed by the police.
That's a lot of people. And I wonder what they're going to do with the police in that Breonna case.
Breonna case? What case?
Oh, it was in the 1960s when Rockefeller passed the no-knock law and the stop and frisk law. It's based on an old racist law that was implemented about 60 years ago.
Andy would tell me how the police would keep notches on their gun for every black person they killed. Then plant guns and knives on black people to justify murdering them.
Black people have been free for 155 years. That is not a long time at all. We're still recovering from all the abuse and still dealing with the consequences of racism.
Oh, but you better not talk about it. Until you pull the race card.
Anytime one of them says that, you know they the ones that just said some racist shit.
And we have all heard them before. Just get over it. But they remember everything that has ever been done to them. But when it comes to slavery, it's oh, you still talking about that? Of course we're still talking about it. We're supposed to still be talking about it.
Well, we did have roots. Maybe they thought that was enough. But if I was in roots, there wouldn't have been no movie. That white man would have hit me with that whip. Say your name, Toby. I would look back and say, Kunta Kinte. He would have hit me again. Say your name, Toby. I would look back and say, Kunta Kinte. On the 3rd time, he would have hit me with that whip. Say your name, Toby. I would look back and say, Toby. Toby before me. I got them from my friend Charlie Barnett. I hope he ain't bad with me. Hey, Charlie!
See, that's how they get us, by putting fear in our hearts and minds.
But most black children today don't even know anything about our history. And that, my friend, is dangerous.
And every black child should know their history. And not just black, white, brown, yellow, red people too. And we should know that. It's fair to understanding each other.
Right, look, how many know about Ida B. Webb?
Of course they don't know about Ida, or Maya, or me.
Or me.
If they don't know your name, then they don't know they're your own. Some famous person said that once.
If you have goodness in your heart, you cannot follow evil. Your heart won't allow it. But if you have evil in your heart, it's easy for your heart to follow. Evil lives in the darkness and it needs the light to be brought out.
Speaking of evil, you know Trump is going to do everything in his power to steal the election. I hope y'all know that.
Of course he is. He's motivated by his racist nature. That's why he's on the side of the white supremacists. He's a white supremacist.
Yeah.
It might take a war.
A war? Black people are not ready to fight the most powerful military force on the planet. I'm afraid to say it would be a slaughter.
That is not true. Don't say that.
Yes.
We'll never win if you are afraid. Black people will win. We cannot lose.
I wish you were right. When any white man in the world says, give me liberty or give me death, the entire white world applauds. When a black man says exactly the same thing, word for word, he is judged as a criminal and treated like one. And everything possible is done to make an example of this bad nigger so there won't be any more like him. And we declared war.
But so what? If we lose 10 million people, we have more than enough left to carry on.
I didn't live my life the way I did to see my people die violently in the streets.
Yeah.
No, we need serenity and tranquility. I've seen the light, and the light is love and peace.
We should study war no more. This path that you are on will only lead to the destruction of black people.
How can you stand there and act like war between the races is inevitable? I refuse to believe that. Now, we all know what the afterlife is, and although it is very nice, we should not be encouraging others to get here faster. You all know that. Love, people. love. We, unaccustomed to courage, exiles from delight, live coiled in shells of loneliness until love leaves its high holy temple and comes to our sight to liberate us into life. Love arrives, and in its strain comes ecstasies, old memories of pleasure, ancient histories of pain. Yet, if we are bold, love strikes away the chains of fear from our souls. We are weaned in our timidity, and in the flush of love's light, we dare be brave. And suddenly we see that love is all there is and all there is to be. Yet it is love that sets us free. Love arrives, and in its train comes ecstasies, old memories of pleasure, ancient histories of pain. Yet, if we are bold, love strikes away the chains of fear from our souls.
That was so beautiful, Maya. You know, I was just thinking.
Oh shit! Everybody run!
Shut up, Richard. We're sitting here talking about our people fighting for their very existence. But then you have black people who just want to forgive white people for everything. Why is that? When those Christians were killed at the Emmanuel Baptist Church in Charleston, South Carolina by that white supremacist, what was his name?
I don't even want to say his name.
Dylan. Yeah, him. That's his name. Killed 9 church members attending Bible study. Bible study. And before he was even captured, the family of the victims were already forgiving that piece of shit. Now somebody please explain that to me.
Nina, yes, yes, and yes. After they caught him, they took him to a Burger King to get a Whopper. They would have killed me on the spot if I'd have walked into a church filled with white people. Just over 5 women and children. In a church, the most safe and non-threatening place you could go.
I think it's shameful. That monster. Forgive him before their friends, relatives, and loved ones were even cold and buried? That's an insult to the people who died. Damn him.
They even ask for forgiveness.
I think you're all missing the point. Forgiveness is not for the person committing the crime, it's for the person giving forgiveness.
Yeah.
Who wants to walk around carrying all the burden of hatred and resentment with them? It'll kill you. It will eat you up. We need not to send that message.
Maya, forgiving the racist? You can't forgive a polar bear for being a polar bear and doing what a polar bear does. They couldn't care less about our forgiveness.
I'll never forgive Derek Chauvin for putting his knee on George Floyd's neck.
Yes.
You want to forgive him for that? Never.
I underwent, during the summer that I became 14, a prolonged religious crisis. I discovered God and His saints and His angels and His blazing hell. And strangely enough, none of you were among the angels I learned about because all of them were white, even in a black church with a white Jesus. Anyway, I accepted this deity as the only one because I believed that God would save me in times of crisis. But He did not.
Sincerity for one's sins must be sought after with sincerity and true devotion. If one doesn't repent, there can be no forgiveness.
Forgiveness is not an occasional act. It is a constant attitude. I believe those dedicated church Christians in the Dylan Roof case were only practicing what they knew to be right. Forgiveness is the true cornerstone of truth.
How can you forgive a non-repentant person? That doesn't make any sense.
The truth of the matter, I fail to believe they walk to be forgiven.
The Bible is what gave black people the strength to get through everything that they endured.
Yeah.
Yeah, every Sunday and every big city, every small country town, every small town, and every suburb. Black people get up. They get dressed up and they go to church to praise God. Why? Because that is where we find relief. where we gather for joy, hope, redemption, repentance, and forgiveness. We all need forgiveness.
Well, then fine. You can worship their God. But it was the Catholic Church and the Protestant Church founded on blood that have black people in the position they're in today. They made black people believe in a God that put them in chains. It's the cruelest of crimes to enslave a people and then make them worship the God used to enslave them. Horrible trick.
Jesus consistently told his disciples that love and forgiveness were absolute necessities for spiritual maturity. Christ, the innocent Son of God, lies in painful agony on an uplifted cross. How will Jesus act? What will he say? Jesus lifts his head up amid the wreath of thorns encircling his brow and cries out in words lifted to cosmic proportions, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do."
Martin, you cannot have the case.
You're going to be the next president of the United States. My
Why are you dancing? The problems are not over.
I am happy, don't you spoil my good mood.
First you cry tears of sadness, then you cry tears of joy. I don't understand you. Make up your mind.
No, I don't understand you. If I cry, you are upset. If I am happy, you are upset. Why can't you be content sometimes?
Just stop it, Oya. Enjoy the moment. You are making me angry and you just want to see me angry.
What do I care? I've seen you angry before. Do you believe for one moment that things will change when 70 million people voted for that team?
She got a point.
But 80 million voted for Biden here. Now that just goes to show you the power of the vote.
What? Yes, she's right. Stacy worked her ass off. Nobody can deny that.
Right.
Well,
Well, they're talking about the American political system. On one side, you have the party of Barry Goldwater, George Wallace, Nixon, Reagan, Bush, and now Trump, which 70 million people voted for. And on the other side, you have a
president that got a blowjob.
Oh, shut up, Richard.
It's true, you can't compare Brother Bill getting a blowjob to Trump being responsible for thousands of people dying of corona. Y'all don't want to get me mad up here.
I'm mad, Richard. Well, I will admit, the White House won't be the same since Barack and Michelle were there.
They better spray that White House good once Trump leaves. Light some sage in every area.
And on the other side, you have the Democratic Party of Jimmy Carter, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and now Biden Kamala. Which one would any common sense person want to be on?
A black woman is vice president of the United States of America. Did you ever see the day?
No, I've never been like.
This is a glorious moment for black people, for all people.
I mean, wish I could be as excited as all you are, but her record hasn't been all that great when it comes to black people.
Here we go.
Speak on it. Talk to me about all the brothers and sisters Kamala put in prison and are still in prison. Some of them were my friends.
Shit, maybe some of them belonged in prison.
Richard, with all due respect, fuck you.
Fuck me. Did you say fuck me? Fuck you.
All right, Lord, my goodness, no.
We were just joking around, Maya.
This is not a joking matter, Tupac. Winning the election gives black people hope. It's a step in the right direction, isn't it?
We don't trust no politician. I don't care what side of the aisle they're on.
Let's not forget Biden is responsible for putting a lot of black people in prison too.
But people change and do change. I have all faith.
Both Biden and Harris made mistakes. The people are allowed to make mistakes. It's only human. I believe their hearts are in the right place. You have to give them a chance. It's a democracy, and they won fair and square.
Democracy means hypocrisy.
My sentiments exactly.
Mine too.
A very difficult time trusting and believing any black woman who's willing to sit behind a desk and just put black people in prison. Very difficult time with that.
So what would you have them do, huh? You know, because they'll just lock us up and throw away the key.
Yeah, that's what they do.
What's that man's name in San Fran again? What's the man's name?
You talking about Willie Brown?
Yeah, that's him. Wasn't he 30 years older than her? Sounds like a business decision to me.
Now she with a white man. Business decision.
Y'all sound like a bunch of old gossiping church women in the beauty parlor or something. Get your minds out the gutter.
Yeah, why black people do that? Y'all sound like a bunch of haters.
I hate, just hate.
Now, are you having reservations because she's a woman or a black woman? Or because she's with a white man? I mean, she has enough to do without drudging up her past. You see all they got on their plate trying to clean up what Trump left?
Annie left a mess.
Yes.
She's the right person for the job. Point blank, period. And she brings it real and raw. So y'all need to shut up talking about making somebody mad.
She is where she is by divine appointment. And she has divine work to do.
I hope you don't believe the elections are going to change everything. Not right away anyway. Systemic racism, police murders, judicial system.
All that, and we still got Corona raging out of control, killing people all over.
Yeah, that's right. We know Trump is responsible for Corona killing people all over the country.
But what bothers me is that it's killing so many people of color. The reason is because the people of color are usually the first responders. So if anybody's going to get the disease, it's going to be the first responders.
But we do need to take better care of our health.
Yeah, that's real talk from the both of you. I still think that they need to charge that man with crimes against humanity.
Absolutely. Look, we have to think about solving our own problems. We cannot depend on politicians. We'll never get anywhere depending on politicians.
I strongly disagree. Our movement in the 60s totally and irrevocably changed the political landscape of the entire country. You cannot arbitrarily dismiss that.
Dr. King, the last thing I want to do is take away from any of your many accomplishments. But there is so much more to be considered in today's world. That's why we're here, right? To discuss what's been going on since we left the planet.
She is right. That is why I summoned you.
We need to teach our young boys to stop fornicating all the time. Stop drinking and dancing and having a good time all the time. Stop with the random sex, Instagram, Twitter, all that mess only destroys the black brain computer. That's right, I see you're listening. Sex is not an activity for children. We cannot allow babies to have babies. No woman should have a baby until she's 30 and no man until he's 35.
Wait a second. No sex until you're 35. Have you lost your mind?
Now that might not be the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, but it's up there. Oh, it's way up there.
Yeah, I mean, I had 9 children before I was 35.
We can't afford that kind of irresponsibility.
Irresponsibility, you call it? I had 12 children all together, and I took care of all of my children.
Everybody can't be movie stars, rock stars, and athletes. The prize buck, just like during slavery. And then young black boys will think they can do the same thing and haven't even graduated high school. Yet, they relish in being players and pimps.
Not my problem.
Not your problem, that's a problem. Anytime a black man says not my problem, look behind him and there's a problem.
No, it ain't my problem who anybody grind with. And it ain't nobody else's problem who I grind with. I wasn't born to believe in one man, one woman, no way. I have my own way. And my way says that it ain't nobody's business but mine. And before you start judging my life and pointing your fingers, are your hands clean?
My hands are very clean.
Yeah, right. Everybody's hands dirty. Everybody. You're not special.
How you gonna tell somebody not to have children till they 30? Shit, I started fucking when I was 11. I know that sounds unusual, but I ain't trying to tell anybody to follow me. Don't follow me, God. Shit, I ain't been the best boyfriend, husband, or father, so you trying to tell me what to do ain't gonna work. Oh, hell no. Kiss my ass with that shit.
Comedians, musicians, and movie stars.
Don't think of me as a movie star. I was a booty star.
We don't need booty stars. We need to concentrate on developing the brain computer. The black penis works fine, obviously.
What is with you and all the penises? Obviously, she didn't get enough when she was alive.
Oh, I got plenty of them. Okay. We have got to have a plan of action. If you have a better plan, I'd like to hear it.
You call that a plan? Clearly you got your own agenda, Dr. Welsing, or hat. But nobody's gonna listen to you because it's simply the most unrealistic suggestion that I have ever heard.
I still have a large following on Earth and in the afterlife. Do you?
My legacy speaks for itself.
A Raisin in the Sun, the most celebrated black play ever, which I was in at the Apollo Theater, by the way.
You were excellent.
Oh, you saw me? Shit, my humble beginnings. But back to the subject at hand, I don't know how anybody can mandate sexuality. That's crazy. That's like, look, if I wanted to have sex with a woman for pleasure and she was down with that, then I was with that. Because once you got that urge, that itch has got to be scratched.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Isn't that what got you locked up, messing around with all them girls?
I got locked up because that B lied on me.
Well, weren't you in the hotel room with her?
So what? She went to this room. What she think was gonna happen?
What?
Because a woman goes to a hotel room doesn't automatically translate into having sex. The thought of that is repugnant.
Well, I guess I'm repugnant then, because if you go to my hotel room at 2 in the morning, that meant somebody giving up some booty. That was understood.
Right.
I think I've heard enough of this. This conversation is getting on my last nerve.
Mine too. Men. Then you wonder why black women are so hard on you.
Oh, you don't want to take it there.
Oh, you got something to say? Let's go.
Yeah, we got something to say. We black men, we all got something to always have something to say.
Richard, how many black women did you date?
Pam Green.
And don't y'all come down on me, because I like all colors of the rainbow. And all y'all done dated white men, and that's a lot worse than any black man that dates a white woman.
Hey, this is why I get tired of black women being labeled mean and angry all the time. Black men need to stop that. The world needs to stop it. Just stop it. Black women are already in pain. And they suffered enough. But instead of acknowledging that and nurturing us, you want to fight us? Instead of loving us, when we say, hey, you're not doing something right, well, you just go running to the other side. Because, you know, black women are too much.
That's well said, Zora. It's something I can agree with you on.
Ooh, I see it's gotten real quiet in here. Even Martin got his mouth shut.
Well, I'm quiet because I know when to stay quiet.
Because opening up your mouth right now might get you into trouble.
It's not to put your business on the street, but everybody has heard about you and your
At the
mess.
risk of defending myself,
You might want to stay quiet a little longer, Martin.
I mean, we know that we can't believe anything that J. Edgar Hoover said about you because everybody knows he was a lying hypocrite himself.
J. Edgar Hoover was one of the biggest hypocrites and murderers in American history, coming after Malcolm and Martin, trying to hide the fact that he himself was a faggot. Notice how I use the word, Dr. Welsing?
Point taken, Dr. Baldwin.
From what I have seen, the only one of these men who is even remotely sincere and honest when it comes to relationships is Malcolm.
I don't know how you're going to be an example for the young when you can't keep it in your pants.
What is she talking about?
I love black women. Got nothing but respect for y'all.
Me love all women, got nothing but respect for all women.
Maybe if more people did more fucking, we wouldn't have so many problems. Keep your mind on the P-U-S-S-Y. My father died fucking. My father was 57 when he died. The woman was 18. My father came and went at the same time.
Richard, what does that have to do with anything?
Nothing. I just felt like saying it.
Look, I don't know what all the fuss is about him. Back in my time, a black man was expected to marry a black woman, and that man was head of the family. Nobody was even thinking about being with a white woman, because thinking about it might get you killed.
Right.
And then that white man, well, he would just come in and take whatever he wanted. Most times a black man just had to sit there and wait or go for a walk in the woods. Now, what do you think that did for that black man? That's why so many black men be running after these white women, because it was taboo for so long. And dangerous. Black man get himself a white woman, it's like spitting in the white man's face. Here, take that. Now, I'm not saying that's how it is all the time, because sometimes love is love, right? Sometimes you find love anywhere you can get it. Anyway or however.
Now that is the gospel truth. I hope you heard her.
Man, y'all getting too deep. Sometimes the brother just wants to get laid. Shit. Black, white, Spanish, Asian.
Anywhere you go,
you see the same hoes. Sorry, I couldn't resist that.
We are the only people on this entire planet who have been taught to sing and praise our own demeanor. I'm a bitch, I'm a hoe, I'm a gangster, I'm a thug, I'm a dog. If you can train people to demean and degrade themselves, you can oppress them forever.
Right.
You can even program them to kill each other and they won't even understand what happened.
People are gonna drink, get high, and they're gonna fuck. That's what people do. I still want to know how you're gonna change that.
I don't know, but we have got to try. Our very survival depends on it.
Our survival depends on us not having babies. Are you even listening to yourself? How's that sound? Totally unrealistic, you know? I mean, I hear what you're trying to say, but I had my stand. I wasn't trying to be with no hoes. Lady, take it easy. I hate to sound sleazy, but tease me. I don't want it if it's that.
Oh, Tabitha, sis, are you my Francis? Damn!
That's Dr. Welsing to you.
I knew that would mess her up.
I understand what Dr. Welsing is saying. We need to address the evils and the vices. The alcoholism, the drug addiction, casual sex. It's destroying the moral fiber of our communities. Now that is on us. We can't expect white people to do anything about that.
But they the ones pumping the drugs into the community, not us.
But we're the ones using them.
What don't you get? Ain't no drug factories in the hood. Talk to the CIA, how they pumped Compton Watch full of crack back in the 90s. Then they arrested us and threw us in prison to make money off us being strung out.
Yes.
They was the ones who ruined families and communities all over the country. There would never been a crack epidemic if they didn't fund it. Supported by the United States government under Ronald Reagan himself. Talk about that. Just say no to that.
There's a drug epidemic going on right now, affecting mostly white people. But they get to go to rehab because it's a health issue. But when it's us, we get put in prison because it's a crime.
Speak on it. That's all I was saying. Just can't blame it all on us.
Oh shit, will you look at this shit here?
You still talking?
They done lost their picking mind.
Unbelievable! No, it's believable.
What year is it again? 2021?
Bobby got that?
Your chickens have come home to roost, I see.
Stop the steal. Kiss my black ass.
Unbelievable! You didn't think of a damn about black people? I know one thing. They better not come up in the hood with that nonsense.
They will unleash the fury of hell. Look at this.
So what? We can unleash hell too. They got a lot of nerve talking stuff to steal. Fuck them. What about us?
Hypocrites! Their unjust laws have just turned against them.
Can you imagine if that was us attacking the Capitol?
The steps of the Capitol would be red with black blood. I know that.
And those that didn't get killed would get dragged off to prison the same day.
Oh, they like putting black people in prison.
There comes a time where violence is necessary.
Yes.
There comes a time where you better fight.
That's right.
We have fought in all of their wars. They sent black people to Germany, we bled.
Yes.
And they sent black people to the South Pacific to fight the Japanese, and we bled.
Yes.
And they sent black people to Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. We bled. But when it comes to standing up for our own rights here in America, black people have no blood. We'll be quiet as a church mouse when it comes to protecting our own. I hate to say this about us, but it's true. Look at them.
Malcolm, I'm concerned when I see white people storming the Capitol. I am. They are challenging justice. They are challenging humanity. I am concerned with brotherhood and truth. But we cannot advocate violence.
How can anyone intelligent be nonviolent? Everything in the universe does something with it when you start messing with its life, except black people. The only thing that can stop a man with a gun or a club is another man defending himself with a gun or a club. That's
Courage
equality.
is the inner resolution to go forward despite obstacles. We cannot stoop to their level. That is a very low bar, Malcolm.
It's fear. That's why they starting on Capitol fear, you know?
They don't need a reason. They've been conducting militaristic maneuvers in the backwoods of America since I've been on the planet.
But they are ineffective. They are inconsequential when you get right down.
I'm sorry, Mark. You call that inconsequential? Here's what gets to me. I bet you all those people down there will tell you to your face that they believe in and love Jesus. Yet there they are with the guns and the signs.
I think we have two different Bibles, a black Bible and a white Bible. Because being a Christian for black people is all about kissing up and getting a good ass kicking. That white Bible tells them they can do whatever they want to as long as they get on their knees at night and go to church on Sunday.
Or hunted. Most black people were raised in the church. And we're told from a very young age to turn the other cheek, as Jesus would have. And to retaliate to violence is sinful.
Not retaliating is sinful.
There's a voice crying through the vista of time, calling men to walk in the light. You can choose the darkness, or you can choose the light.
Dr. King, I don't know about all that. What I do know is if they decide to get in their trucks and head down every major street in every major city, most black people won't be ready. The only blacks that aren't ready are the gangbangers.
Yes.
The Crips and the Bloods are ready.
Yes.
The Vice Lords and the Gangster Disciples are ready.
Yes.
The Latin Kings and the Black Peace Stone Rangers are ready.
Yes.
But the average everyday black person is not ready for that. And that's on us. Black people need to be ready.
Lord, wouldn't that be something we have to depend on the gangbangers to save us?
Well, that's better than them killing each other.
I don't know about all of that. Blacks in the South got guns too, and they know how to shoot them. Because they go hunt to put food on the table. Hell, I can shoot guns if I need to.
Look, we're glad you're not shooting guns anymore.
Did you see them? When white folks come, they always bring them up and they always outnumber you. Because most times they know the man or woman would just sit and watch the man or woman be hung or shot rather than come to that person's aid.
Ooh, you ain't never lied.
Every Afro-American should have a Winchester rifle at a place of honor in their home. I guess today will be an AK-47 or an AR-15, and it should be used in the protection against anybody who comes through that door uninvited. When the white man knows he runs the risk of biting the dust every time his Afro-American victim does, he will have greater respect for Afro-American life.
Yes.
The more the Afro-American yields and cringes and begs, the more he is insulted, outraged, and murdered.
Malcolm, you're laughing?
Oh, it feels good to hear Sister Ida B. Wells tell it like it is. America is so hypocritical and paradoxical. If you don't have some sense of humor, you'll crack up.
Yes.
You'll go crazy. You'll take you straight to the insane asylum. America will cause you to lose your mind.
Yes.
Black people need to be armed and ready for ourselves. A revolution is bloody. A revolution is hostile. A revolution knows no compromise. Revolution overturns everything it gets in its way and destroys its path. You ain't doing any singing. We shall open. You're too busy swinging.
Yes.
You see them white people up there? You like that they singing? No, they know what we're afraid to know. That you and you just may have to die in a revolution.
That's right. Well, let's hope it never gets to that point.
Martin, do you remember what I said to you when we first met?
I've known you for a long time.
Now look, I told you in Selma back in '64 that I'm not nonviolent.
Yes, I remember. That's when you sang that song. What song? You know that song you sang? Mississippi.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mississippi. Mississippi, goddamn.
Dr. King used a cuss word.
I almost didn't get a chance to deliver my speech that day after Neil sang that.
I wanted to use my voice as a weapon to speak out for my people. You know, what's the point in being an artist if you're not speaking to the times in which you live? Oh, thank God I was a singer. Otherwise, I would have had a rifle in my hands. Because I am a revolutionary.
But Martin is a revolutionary too. He uses a different method, but he's still a revolutionary.
Well, I think you all are revolutionaries. From everything I've seen you are. It's in everything you do, especially your art.
Well, thank you. But today's artists are not using their artistic power.
Yeah, they're using it for money and fame and selfishness.
Yes, you bring up a very interesting point. The black artists must recognize they have a great responsibility. We have black artists who are geniuses. But look at all of you. But long as the black artist has to sing, act, and dance to please the white man, he'll be a clown. But when he or she learns to sing, act, and dance to please black people, oh, they sing a different song, they dance a different step. He or she could become a beacon of light to all of us.
I agree, but it's better today than when I was living.
We need to establish our own artistic cultural centers for film and creative writing, and for dance and theater and music, the whole global spectrum. Yes. It'll begin a journey to the rediscovery of ourselves.
It is for this reason that all societies have battled with the incorrigible disturber of the peace, the artist.
Yes. I myself was audacious enough to have called myself an artist. They try to downplay the importance of the artist because we are at the vanguard of thought. Yes. Write about our people. Yes. Tell our stories.
Yes. You know, my mission in life was not merely to survive, but to thrive. And to do so with compassion, passion, some humor, and some style. And we should be angry, but not bitter. It's like Lorraine said. You write it, you dance it, you paint it, you march it, you vote it, you be everything about it. You talk it, you never stop talking.
What if we took all our talents? What if we took all our talent, all of our art, all of our spirituality, our spunk, our funk, our attitude, our style, our swagger, our fashion, and just left all the races behind? Notice I said racist. We'll take the white people with us, the progressive ones. Yeah. Because not all white people are against us now. You leave the racists behind. What will they do? Let them attend the basketball and football games without any black players on any of the team. I'll listen to the country music and the heavy metal without any soul, jazz, blues, or hip-hop to show them how to love and feel.
Oh shit, that would be dope. They would be in bad shape.
I like that, Zora. The war of an artist with his society is a lover's war, and he does at his best what lovers do, which is to reveal the beloved to himself and to the world.
A day of absence, like Jack the Stone Award wrote about.
Exactly. What will they do?
What you think they gonna do? They'll be looking for our ass.
You know, we are never going to get rid of the racists. Because without us, they can never feel that feeling of superiority. Yes. Oh, when they need that, like a junkie needs drugs.
You got that right.
I was raised in an all-black town called Eaton, now. So I know what it's like to be around nothing but black people. I went to black schools. I was taught by black teachers. As far as I can see, the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s are the same, whether you learn from a black or a white school. Right. Something else. I remember how wonderful Harlem was during the Harlem Renaissance. Yes. Everywhere you looked, nothing but beautiful, intelligent, creative black people. So let them miss out on that company for a bit.
You certainly like in a jiu-jitsu move, bro. You trapped
The death of George Floyd is due back in court today. Derek Chauvin will appear virtually before a judge this afternoon.
The former Minneapolis police officer is accused of kneeling on Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes. He faces a second-degree manslaughter charge along with that murder allegation.
Well, what do you have to say about that?
I'm extremely happy for the Floyd family and for the nation. But as we all know, we still
have a long way to go.
I am pleased with the results. Maybe this is the beginning of something.
No way.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a machete cut. It'll never stop the bleeding.
Can we just all take a moment and sigh of relief and exhale? Because it could have been worse. Yeah. They could have let that man go.
Yeah.
I think with videotape of the execution, they could.
They had video Rodney King. Yeah. They had video Tamir Rice. They had video Eric Gardner. They had video Philando Castile.
There, the video of Dante Rice shot Cassini over gun was on the left or on the right. Somebody better stop me, because I can keep going.
Yeah. White people have got to be the problem solvers among their own kind, so we can have support such as what has occurred in the George Floyd case.
Good luck with that.
Though I must confess, I am gravely disappointed in certain white liberals who constantly say, I agree with you in the goals you see, but I cannot agree with your methods. As if they can paternalistically set the timetable for our freedom.
Yes, Martin. I too was tired of so-called lip service from white liberals. If I hadn't found my outlet through writing, I would have picked up a gun myself. I don't want to hear sweet talk coming from liberals saying that they identify with my cause. We need radicals who are ready to take off their shirts and ties, the high heels and dresses, and pick up a weapon and die if they must. Not for our cause, but for their own. That's when I will know that we are all in this together.
But we are white people out there.
Yeah.
People from all walks of life are out there. Protesting from all over the globe.
I don't care. America still needs to pay for her crimes. One conviction does not make up for all the years of abuse, murder, injustice, and imprisonment.
But we must think about forgiveness. That is the only place healing can begin.
She is right. We will never get anywhere without it, Toya.
I don't want to hear another word about forgiveness. Not another word.
We can never forgive America until America takes responsibility. For America has to take some responsibility. You cannot. We cannot. I cannot.
Clearly, there are two issues here. Black people versus white oppression, and black people versus black people.
Yes, not only are white people killing us, but black people are killing each other at the highest rate ever. It hurts me to say.
Yeah, but when they compare black on black crime to systemic racism, I don't get that.
Now, I've heard them say that Black Lives Matter is only concerned with the police killings and not about the killings of black people in the black community.
You could be a doctor or a lawyer, a thief or a village chief, but if your skin is black, you're nothing to them.
They either lump us together or systematically divide us. And not just us, all people of color.
The children learn to hate before they even learn to love by the time they're in elementary school. And they have no idea what a healthy self-esteem is. So what do? They go out and they hurt someone that looks exactly like them because they are so filled with hatred.
You nailed it, Mike. Take my own life. I never believed no black person would ever shoot me. I believe I didn't have to fear my own community. I was like, I represent them. I'm the ambassador to the world. They will never do me wrong. But I also know it was a culture that was taught. And it's still teaching black men and women to hate each other enough to kill another black person with no thought, no understanding of who they really are.
You have to teach them that they are valued and that they're loved.
What kids are you talking about? The privileged kids or the kids in the hood? Because the children in the hood are still suffering.
Most young children do not know what truly happened to them. It's what makes them quick to anger and to retaliate. But once they know what happened to them and truly understand why, they will never forgive. They will never forget. And then they will become something very dangerous to deal with.
My name is Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, and I approve of his message.
This thing about racism, it's preposterous to me, First they tried to say that we're less than human, but yeah, we proved them wrong every time. Then they say that we can't play sports with them, but we get in there and we dominate. They say we don't have brain power, but yet we grow to be congressmen and mayors and senators and astronauts and scientists and even the president. We grow businesses, become millionaires and billionaires, but yet they will still think that they're superior. So to me, racism is not about skin color. Racism is a sickness in the brain. It is a mental illness,
So what do we do, huh? If we do nothing, everything continues as it is. we will be in the same place 50 years, 100 years from now.
Human progress never rolls in on the wheels of inevitability. It comes through the tireless efforts of people who are dedicated servants with God. And without this hard work, time itself becomes a primitive ally of social stagnation.
We are colored Yankee soldiers who enlisted for the war. We are fighting for the Union. We're fighting for the law. We can shoot a rebel further than a white man ever saw as we go marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah, as we go marching on. Look there above the ceiling where the flag is waving bright. We're going out of slavery, we are bound for freedom's light. We mean to show Jeff Davis how an African can fight as we go marching on. We are colored Yankee soldiers, just as sure as you was born. When the rebels hear us fighting, they will think it's Gabriel's home. As we go marching, marching, marching on. Excuse me for eavesdropping on y'all's conversation.
I don't recognize you, sir.
I'm sure you don't, but I recognize you. I recognize all of y'all. But my name is not important, at least not at the moment. It seems we have an urgent situation here. I've been listening all along. Y'all been around the bend, up the mountain, down the mountain, around the creek, trying to figure out what to do about our present predicament.
You got that right.
Well, it seems to me y'all done left something out, though. I mean, you beat around the bush about it, but nobody wants to look at it for what it is or what it might be. Y'all act like y'all scared.
The only thing I'm afraid of is ignorance and conscientious stupidity, sir.
With all due respect, sir, you can talk about nonviolent resistance, which I do believe works sometimes. But what happens when it doesn't work anymore? When violence can no longer be avoided and, quite frankly, shouldn't be.
I don't know of any time that might be, sir.
Anyway, bullshit up. I was there in Haiti when we blacks rose up against the French colonists, when Napoleon sent 80 warships to put us back in chains. Off the ships they came in their gilded uniforms, on horseback, on foot, carrying cannons and long guns, the greatest military force in the world. Bullets flew, cannonballs fell at our feet and over our heads, and some hit that mark. But the great Toussaint Louverture would never surrender to defeat. Closer and closer we crept to them until we were on them like tigers in a fight. You could hear the powerful voice of Destiny. No turning back now! And General Christophe, we are fighting for a greater cause. We couldn't turn and run. We couldn't turn the other cheek. I was shot all over my body. Here is where a bayonet pierced my thigh. But that didn't stop me, that didn't stop us. We were fighting for the liberation of a people. No greater reason, no greater cause, no greater honor. And we sent the French and the great Napoleon back to where they came from. I was there standing with Crispus Attucks when the British marched on the colonies. He screamed, "Stand your ground, don't be afraid." A musket shot hit him and he fell. A black man, the first black man to die in the fight for liberty in the Revolution. Many of us fought for the British because our founding father, George Washington, owned slaves. Jefferson and Madison too. In fact, 8 of our 12 founding fathers owned slaves. They claimed that a black man was only 3/5 of a man. But we proved them wrong that morning. On Bunker Hill, I and 40 of our brothers fought for the independence of America. I was shot, almost took my arm off that day. But we won. We won independence for America. When the Civil War come along, I come out of the plantations in the South, come out of the North, New York, Philadelphia, Boston. No black person would stand passively by and allow another person to fight for them, fight for their freedom. The Battle of Sumter, Bull Run, Chattanooga, Shiloh, Antietam, Gettysburg. We were there, I was there. If we didn't fight, this country would be waving the Confederate flag, and what would we be doing then? I don't know about that, but I don't want to be thinking about that. So many of us fell. You couldn't take a step without stepping over a lifeless body on the ground. But that didn't stop us. Round pellet went to my skull and I fell too. That didn't stop me, that didn't stop us. We kept coming and coming and coming. We don't die, we multiply. World War I. I fought with the 369th Division out of Harlem. The Hellfighters, they called us, because the Germans thought that we fought like we came out of hell. Truth is, many of us had been living in hell. So the name fit, the Hellfighters. America wouldn't allow us to fight with guns. They didn't like the idea of black folks having guns even in war. So we fought under the French flag. It was a dark and cold night. The French on one side and the Germans on the other, and 50 yards of ground in between, no man's land. Lieutenant James Reese crawled under the barbed wire, made his way to the other side, and bayoneted a German lookout who became the first black man to kill an enemy on foreign soil. It was all over after that. Nothing could beat black people who could fight so well with knives up close. And the Allies went from losing to winning. That makes 2 wars we done fought in that went from losing to winning. But when we get back, Southern whites said, keep the Negroes in their place. And they started their mess with burning and lynching and carrying on. The summer of 1919 is and forever shall be called the Red Summer. But the whites wasn't the only ones doing the killing. We was doing some killing of our own, make no mistake about that. They ain't gonna tell you that in the history books. World War II. We fought on the land and in the air. Surprised the hell out of them when they saw black men flying around like birds, like red tails in the sky, storming the beaches on foot. And once again, we turned the tide of the war. Are you hearing me? Yes. I fought in Korea, and I was a blood in Vietnam, and today I fight in Iraq and Afghanistan. I am the black American soldier. Here I stand. Now you tell me if this country doesn't owe me a debt of gratitude and respect. That's right. We built this country with our very own hands. The soil we walk on has our blood in it. 65% freedom will not do. No 75, no 85, 100% is what we need to be aiming for. Nothing less. We are at war, whether you want to believe it or not. My question to all of you is, what are we going to do about it? About the genocide? What will it take for black people to fight back? When is enough enough? You let me know, because I ain't going nowhere. I'm here. I'm ready.
Well, how do we get there, sir? What can we do?
I suggest a black militia. They got militia. Why can't we have a militia? A militia made up of every able-bodied black person, man and woman, between the ages of 18 and 55, armed and ready to go out at a moment's notice. We got everything we need. We got doctors, lawyers, military, technicians, you name it, we got it. All we need is the heart, the guts, and the willingness to come together. Every time a member of our community is murdered and they refuse to arrest, prosecute, and convict, the militia will go out and find that person and apply our own justice. And if we can't find that person, a representative will do. It will be done quietly, guerrilla style, without any publicity. Nobody will ever know who executed the act, but they will know why. And no one will ever get caught. They will get the message.
No,
Yeah.
sir.
No.
No.
Yeah. I do not condone what you are suggesting, sir. No. If we must die, let it not be like hogs, hunted and penned in an inglorious spot while mad and hungry dogs bark around us, making them mock at our accursed lot. If we must die, oh, let us die nobly, so that our precious blood may not be shed in vain, and even those monsters we defy shall be constrained to honor us, though dead. Oh, we must meet the common foe. Oh, far outnumbered, we must show us brave, and for their 1,000 blows deal one death blow. Yeah. The open grave lies before us. Like men, we'll face the murderous, cowardly pack, pressed to the wall, dying but fighting back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'd rather die fighting injustice than die like a rat in a trap.
Yeah. You see, Yemaya, this is what I have been saying all along. Shango, I thought that was you.
Shango, is that you?
Shango? Shango.
Okay.
Was that really
Shango? Yes, it was Shango.
That was Shango. The one, the only Shango, the god of the thunder. Enlighten me.
You heard what he said. Shango will always be there. He is always there. I will do that too.
No fear. No fear. No more fear. That's what freedom means. No fear.
Johannes Nezerly shot 22-year-old Oscar Grant in the back, later saying he thought he grabbed his taser. Anthony Peroni saying he was aggressive throughout the encounter, using the N-word, punching and kneeing Grant as he was forced down onto the platform.
I cannot handle much more of this.
I have faith, and I fear for our people now. Let us never forget that love is the supreme unifying principle of life. I still believe we will reach the promised land of brotherhood. The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice.
A sentence for count one. The court commits you to the custody of the Commissioner of Corrections for a period of 270 months. It's 270. That is a 10-year addition to the presumptive sentence of 150 months.